Higher learning is a partnership among students and alumni, faculty and administrators, donors and trustees, neighborhoods, and more to build a community and a culture. And I invite all of you to today's session to be a part of another initiative in this direction. On behalf of Association of Meherchand Mahajan DAV College for Women, AMDA, I welcome each one of you to the annual alumni lecture in a blended mode on women, community and leadership by Ms. Naina Bhandari, an award-winning community worker and filmmaker based in Australia. This lecture will provide an opportunity to learn about possible career avenues for women in the field of community welfare and media activism. A warm welcome to Ms. Naina Bhandari, who has taken the time out to join us today online. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Warm greetings to our principal, ma'am, Dr. Nisha Bhargav, who always encourages us in all our endeavors and motivates us to reach out to our alumna and make us proud. A very good morning to dear Gurvinder ma'am, convener of AMDA, members to all the participants who have joined us today in the online and the offline mode. Before we begin today's event, I would like to brief you about our esteemed institution. Meherchand Mahajan DAV College for Women, a premier institution for women's education in North India, was established in 1968 to commemorate the exemplary contribution of Justice Meherchand Mahajan to the cause of education. The college functions under the aegis of DAV College Managing Committee, which is successfully running more than 900 educational institutions under the able guidance of our worthy president, Dr. Poonam Suriji, Padma Shri awardee. MCM celebrated its Golden Jubilee in February 2018, and the visit of Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, to the college made the celebrations historic. The college has accomplished countless laudable achievements over the years and has emerged as an institution of eminence, offering a unique blend of tradition and modernity to its students. Our young women are groomed with a steadfast commitment towards preserving cultural, social, and environmental sustainability. And now a few lines about AMDA, the Association of MCM DAV Alumni. Our and it envisions to foster the spirit of camaraderie and to ensure a continual bonding between the college and its alumni. It aims to strengthen the alumni institution bond and arranges various activities and events like the one today to provide a forum for exchange of ideas and views on educational, cultural, social, and academic issues of the day. Annually, we arrange lectures delivered by our illustrious alumna, and today's lecture, as I said, is another edition in this series. We also encourage our alumna to stay connected with us by way of initiatives like Agastya Highlights. Agastya is a virtual compilation of the memories that our students create during their stay in college. Liaquat is an online showcasing of our alumna's talent. The expression of their creativity is shared virtually, and it is uploaded on the college website and also shared on the social networking sites of the college. Without much ado, I invite my dear colleague, Dr. Sunaina Jain, to introduce our guest who has joined us from across the miles and begin today's session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Apra. A very good morning to all and warm greetings to Madam Principal, our guest speaker, Ms. Naina Bhandari, our faculty members and our dear students. I welcome each one of you to the annual alumni lecture. And before we begin with today's proceedings, I take upon this opportunity to introduce our speaker, Ms. Naina Bhandari, to each one of you. Naina Bhandari is an award-winning community worker who has worked at various fronts as an activist, spoken word artist, cross-cultural consultant, social impact producer, community broadcaster, and creative director. And it gives me immense pleasure to share with each one of you that she is our proud alumna. She completed her Bachelor's of Food Science and Quality Control from MCM DAV College in the year 2004 and went on to do her Master's in Environment Science from Punjab University, Chandigarh. She has been working in the community sector since 2005, and thus she has the vast and wide-ranging experience of 16 years. She moved to Australia in 2008 to study further in the field of community welfare. Realizing the need to start an NGO for the Indian community, she co-founded one of Australia's leading Indian cultural organizations, Urja Foundation, a community-based group actively operational since 2014 and works for the Indian community living in Melbourne. As a woman of substance and as a woman pursuing multiple interests, Naina has made her mark in each field she has chosen to delve into. Since 2014, Naina has been involved in the creation of multiple radio, TV and films creation. She has proven her versatility as an emerging Australian film producer with a keen interest in telling local and international stories from an Indian and South Asian perspective. She is the co-producer of an award-winning documentary, Gita, and co-founder of Bully Plus. As a social activist, Naina's career expertise lies in working with families of refugees, migrants, and asylum seekers, thus communities from diverse, vulnerable, and disadvantaged sections of the society. She believes that community health plays the most important role in mapping our future generations, and this belief affirmed her activist role. She has done various federal, state, and local government projects in the area of family violence and gender equality. Naina has worked in India and Australia with more than 20 organizations in the field of community engagement to bring social change and has worked closely with more than 30 diverse communities. In her present role, she works as a community hub coordinator at a local Catholic school in Melbourne and recently started as an electorate officer at the Office of Federal Member of Parliament, Maria Bamba Kinu. She sits on the advisory board of Victorian Multicultural Commission, Brotherhood of St. Lawrence, and has served previously on the advisory of Hume City Council and NCLC Legal Center to advocate for women's rights, community engagement among migrant communities, and issues like gender inequality. She has been awarded the Hume Citizen of the Year 2017 for her work with Australian South Asian communities and has featured in a coffee table book as well. Her work is reflective of the journey as a migrant Indian woman who cares deeply for her community and the concerns which afflict her people. So it's an honor to have you here with us, Ms. Naina, and to listen to you. Before we begin, I would take this opportunity to invite Madam Principal, who has joined us to address the audience.
Thank you, Dr. Sunaina. Am I audible? Ms. Naina Bhandari?
Yes, I can hear you.
Today, Dr. Gurvinder Kaur, other faculty members, and dear participants, I welcome you all on today's lecture. Community development is a major driver of social and societal development. It has become particularly relevant today because we are living in a complex world where economic, political, environmental, social, and other issues are intertwined. Under such a scenario, individuals and institutions can take the lead and support each other to achieve their goals and objectives. Since time immemorial, women have been forerunners in leadership roles such as writers, freedom fighters, academicians, and change makers. The role of such leadership has assumed even greater significance during current COVID pandemic. The alumni of any institution are the torchbearers who carry forward the legacy of their alma mater. And I am really glad that today our highly accomplished alumna, Ms. Naina Bhandari, has joined us to deliver a talk on women's roles in shaping communities and in becoming leaders in unconventional ways. I extend a very warm welcome to our guest who has spared her valuable time for us. I'm sure that her discourse today would enlighten our faculty and students regarding the ways and means through which they can help their communities as change leaders and as the core components of our society. My deep gratitude to the Alumni Committee, which is doing great work under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Gurvinder Kaur. Also, I am grateful to all the participants who have joined us today. I am sure that in coming days, the Alumni Committee will continue to do societal work and the institution will lead by example in various fields. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Principal, for your kind words. I request all the participants who have joined us online to please turn their cameras on so that we can capture this moment. All are requested, all the students, faculty members are requested to turn their cameras on. Thank you very much. On behalf of bestow upon Ms. Naina Bhandari the title of Pride of MCM, and I request Madam Principal to honor Ms. Naina Bhandari.
Sorry, I can't able to hear you, Poonam. I think you were on mute. Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Okay, great.
Yes,
Thank you so much. I can't tell you how happy and excited I am having this opportunity because I've never thought of this thing to happen in my life, especially by sitting overseas and so far off from my hometown or my home place. So uh, my name is Nana, and when I was at MCM, I was known with the name of Nana Sahajpal, but now I'm Nana Bhandari. So I'm one of the alumni of this prestigious institution and really feel proud in saying that I'm from MCM DAV College. And trust me, there are so many pass outs of MCM DAV in overseas, which, helps us further get in contact with. Before I start my formal speech, I begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodian of the land on which I am, and I pay my respect to the elder past and present. And at the same time, I'm grateful and very thankful to MCM management, Mrs. Principal, and everyone who's involved in creating this wonderful opportunity. Because I totally agree with what she said that once we pass out from the institution, I think many of us really wants to connect back and really want to give back to the place which have actually helped us to nurture into an individual who we are. As very well being briefed by my bio already, so you must be thinking like, how does this course of life has gone for me, where I was studying at a food science, classes, and end up being a social worker, end up being into a community sector. So when I was studying food technology or food science and quality control at MCM, I must say that I had intuition that this is somewhat relevant with me, but this not exactly is who I am. And that actually has instigated a lot of ideas and thoughts into my mind. And this later on helped me to get into Masters of Environmental Science, because I thought that maybe I'm more towards the food processing and pollution aspect of food, not about how the food is created, but how the food is being further consumed. So I end up doing my master's in environmental science, but while doing it, I started working at few of the NGOs in Chandigarh, and that actually given me and triggered me the question of that how to bring change around me. Who are the problem makers in this world? Who needs all this processed food? And volunteering across, I cleared UGC JRF in 2007. I initiated PhD because when you study for 18 hours a day just to get your exam clear, you really would like to get that done. And I spent around 6 months doing my work while initiating PhD. But then I realized, no, this is not I meant for. And in 2008, I moved to Australia, and I was the first female from my family, and who actually not only moved to Australia but moved overseas. So in 2008, when I arrived here, when you live in India, you always believe that Western world is a very perfect world and they have got everything on place. They haven't got many issues. And, once you land there, you will see girls are very supported. They're going to do whatever they want. But that's not the reality. Every society and every community, they have their issues. No matter the scale of those issues are different, or I can say at a lesser level. But when I arrived here, I was really surprised to see homeless people, disengaged children, families in courts, and women in refuge and safe houses. I saw everything with the eye of a migrant woman who is new to the country and culture where she hasn't taken birth and lived. Instead of feeling sad, I think I decided that would be the turning point of my life, in terms of I know one country or one culture already, and this is what I'm dealing at the moment. So let's get started. So when I had that interest of getting started, it wasn't not that easy, because in overseas, an individual is more known, especially in your initial year, is more known to the community or to the world by your visa subclass, not as in on the basis of your skills or your expertise. So I've been also judged, or I've been also classified that being an international student, not having a permanent residency on hand. So I've been also told by many people that I can't work here and I can't do that. So before getting into sector, I applied for almost 200 jobs, and I haven't received any because of my visa subclass. I wasn't permanent resident, and they were not ready to take me, because that guaranteed them that if a person is permanent resident or citizen, then only that person is good enough to deliver something. And that frustration agitated a lot of ideas in me, and I end up co-founding Urja Foundation. And the minute we get started, the things started to get on the place, because I identified family violence as a big issue in the community. At an average, one out of 3 Australian women, they suffer from family violence, and it can be of sexual, social, emotional, financial. So by this point, my womanhood moved into community towards leadership, and I started knocking doors of various high up organizations and local bodies, and which further led me into governance. So standing at the viewpoint of a women, community, and leadership, I believe that after 13 years of my life now in Australia, I can confidently say that everything is possible for a woman. What matters is your persistent passion and desire to achieve what you are after. My biggest earning is my role as a woman in this society. Not because I've been contributing more into the foreign land, not because I've been supporting a lot of Indian families and their settlement, because I believe that as women, we have much wider vision and much wider scope which is not been observed by us at times, and we just ignore those callings, we just ignore those intuitions. So like any other profession, community service is a very demanding role where you don't know what story will going to open in front of you. Often I end up being an accidental counselor or a case manager. I share hats of creativity, diversity, innovator, but truly I enjoy what I do because as a woman, we are multitasker, multi-talented, and visualize more deeply and far off. You all are standing at the doorstep where your life can take you on a new journey. Maybe you love it, maybe you hate it, but remember one thing, you can change it, as change is the only constant reality of life. As a woman, you have the capacity to think bigger, better for the whole. We are givers and compassionate. We never hesitate to think shareable, but we often missed to be a leader. No matter whatever profile or profession you choose, lead it. Lead it with your innovation and creativity. Never compare yourself with men or any other women because everyone is different. We need to be a leader on the basis of equity and equality. Women belong to all boardrooms and all the places. Our presence in every field will make this world more enjoyable. My message to you all today is to believe in yourself. You all are unique, special, and change maker. Never hesitate to do what you believe in. Whether you are from a village, town, or metropolitan, your dreams shouldn't be classified on the basis of your limitation. If you are a passionate person, you will find out a way. Educate yourself, learn every day, be a better version of yourself. Being a woman is not about having children, a family, a house, a nice job. It's a big circle. It's a big circle of interconnection and leadership that interconnects, relies on your vision. Find out your uniqueness and expand your vision. If you work with your strength, your output increases. You all are capable of leading financial and social independence. Do make a difference with your uniqueness. No idea, dream, vision, hope is small or irrelevant. At times, it takes some time in execution, so be patient, but be persistent. As no matter world has become nowadays, hard work was, is, and will remain the key to success. Through this event, I would request you all to dream big and for the betterment of your community in whatever way you are contributing. As we are born leaders, we just need to find the right tribe or the right community. So stop taking permission and start doing discussions within yourself, with your community around, whether it's of your friends or your family. Trust me, you are in a digital world. You'll find out a person who'll help you to put your dreams and thoughts into action. So just do it. And I believe that through this program, I'll be going to be in touch with all of you. I really, really look forward to support any of you in whatever way I can by sitting here or by doing any of my work. So, hey, I'm thankful to all of you for giving me this opportunity or having me among all of you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to take up on. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ms. Naina Bhandari, for your insightful talk. I just want to ask one thing.
Yeah.
You had sent some PPT. Do you want, had you sent some PPT? I had received a message.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If you wish, I
Has
can
it
go
been
through.
received?
If you wish, I can go through. If someone is happy to turn it on from the other side.
We'll turn it on. We'll turn it on. Thank you. Meanwhile, I request all the participants, our students, our faculty members, those who have joined online to please turn their cameras on so that we can take a good picture.
And I'm happy to answer anyone if has got a question, because in the presentation, most of the slides are related with the projects, which I have done here. So you can, have a look into it and ask me if you have any questions.
Would you like to speak along? Ms. Naina, would you like to speak along? Or you want us to run the slides?
Well, the thing is that I'm just concerned that if I'm going to talk about it, how they will going to connect with the, with the projects, because it's a little collage, I can say, about few of the things or few of the way community gets connected here. Or maybe if I can share from my side.
Yeah, what we can do that you can speak about your projects and then we can run the slides.
All right, no problem. So in the presentation, which you might see later, because I'll just get that on my screen here. In terms of community development, you'll see an image which might make you think that a couple of photos are from India. So yes, they are from India, because I used to work as a volunteer with few of the organization in Chandigarh. So it is the kind of work which is still my core, and I am doing in Melbourne. And that is very much around engaging
Can I
families.
interrupt you for a minute? If you
Yep,
could
sure.
just mute yourself 1 minute. Yeah. So I think it would be very useful for the kids if you could share your journey of how you entered this area of community work, and
All right.
you also use the media to espouse your causes, whatever you felt was all right. And definitely just give us a minute to put your PPT on screen. We should be able to do it for you.
Yeah.
Because most of the kids here are from final year and they would like to know what are the challenges some challenges, general challenges you have already talked about. But we would like to know some kind of qualifications that you acquired there, some kind of things or the skills you acquired to then take on this job. Because when I was going through your profile, you joined a lot of local level organizations apart from your own NGO. So that would help our students to, in a way, assimilate that it's not just the degree that they are going to acquire, it's also all the learning that they can do on their way. And then, of course, the challenges so far as the media is concerned, because you have been a co-producer of an internationally awarded movie. So something about that field, it would help the students to take away today some things that can help them in the career, or at least recognizing their passion. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We are just putting on the PPT. Just give us half a minute while you can start speaking.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it can go in the background, so should be all right. So in regards to how, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So in regards to how I entered into the community sector, as I mentioned, and you might see in some of my PPT, some of the images that I've been already working in the community back in India. So when I came to Australia, straight away on my third day of entry to this country, I joined as a volunteer. So that volunteering was very much around to know the community where I am coming, to know my surroundings, to know whom I'm going to deal with in day-to-day life. So I started working with a lot of refugees and migrants from my very first life. I started in Australia, and that has given me a very good understanding about, like, I'm not living in a single or like, linear kind of a world. It's quite multilingual, and everyone is showcasing all the different cultures and communities, because at an average there are around 50 different countries and cultures and
Naina,
diversities.
please wait for a moment. We are
Okay.
still to start your PPT, so it would be great if you could start along with that.
Yeah.
Thanks. Share the PPT from your end only. Would you be able to share your screen?
Well, I let me try if I can. It's not letting me share my screen.
Yeah, the same thing is happening here also, that it's not letting us share the screen. So we thought maybe you'd be able to share that better.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why. Normally, if you co-share it, let.
Just give me a moment. You keep trying, and I'll also try from this end. All right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. It seems to be working now, so I think we can go forward with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So
इनका
maybe we move
थोड़ा
on
सा
to.
वॉल्यूम कर दो
So maybe we move on to slide 3. Okay. So I like to. I'm getting a lot of echo. Uh, Still there. Okay. So I have maybe I'm actually hearing back what I'm talking.
मिताली who has joined online उसको म्यूट कर दो अच्छा म्यूट कर लो मिताली
Okay, so I'll try. Is it
उनको बोल दो वो उनके हाथ में
hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope it stays all right now. So Yeah, talking about the brewing stage, well, this is a kind of a situation when you really are not sure about yourself, what you want to do, and how you want to do, and where you want to do. So this is quite a thinking stage, which I often find out that it starts within us from grade 10 onward, and especially when we are in a graduation phase where we get exposure to the world, it really gives us so many ideas. So I mean, similar to few of you, I had a growing stage when I was in India while doing, my bachelor's at MCM DAV. So that's a challenge, that's an ongoing challenge, and that challenge, I think, continues with us wherever you go, whatever you are doing in your life. So I deal with this challenge throughout my life, and I am dealing with it at the moment because I realize that learning is an ongoing process. So every time when you acquire or achieve something, there is a new milestone for you to reach out to that. So if I'll talk about the challenges about being into community and getting into media, well, I was in my main area of work was very much around community and community projects, community building, community development. But I realized that if you keep on working at ground root level, where you hardly able to take your projects out into the community, that will going to take that will going to minimize your vision. So if you really want to make the change, or you really want to bring the awareness or education, you have to go ahead, you have to think creatively, or you have to think more about collaboration. So with all the work which is already been happening, I started looking out the ways by which I can take the work out, to the other part of the world or other part of the Australia. So can we go on to the next slide? Yeah, so this is some of the images from here and from India, where the kind of work I do in my day-to-day life, which is about developing communities. So I've just particularly focused on Indian families or Indian community I work here with. So this is kind of the work I really want to give profile to this work, because normally media reflects upon the good thing or the really bad thing, not the work which actually happens. So what I did, there's a community channel, as we have few in India. So I approached them and I asked them that we really want to broadcast some of the community programs which we are doing in the community, so that it brings awareness about Indian culture or South Asian background to the wider sector. And this has become my entry into the world of broadcasting and storytelling. And the good thing is that here you definitely you need to have few qualifications on place, and I've been time to time I've been doing my courses in community development, mental health, and family violence. But then because if you are working here into that particular field, or you show the keen interest of working into that particular field, often you get that benefit of not being judged on the basis of what qualification you have got. And at this point, I was really lucky that I was able to convince some of the media platforms that this is the vision, this is the work we need to take out. And that's how it started to happen. Can we move on to the next slide? And the next one. So this is one of the project which I was involved in, and it is if you check that out on YouTube, it is named as Meet and Eat series, which involve more than 11 different communities, and how they live in integrity with each other, and how they met each other on the basis of food. So food, helped as a big dialogue when even you don't know that individual, or you doesn't understand the language. So this is one of the project which I did, and I was a participant into that project, and that helped me again to understand the power of media, the power of screen and the lens. And moving on from this to, I started doing few more projects, and I can I can't share them at the moment, but I can share it that further with you. So we did a few diverse projects around family violence, which further involved engaging community members from all different cultural background and creating messages around family violence. And that was named as Poetry Corners 1 in 3. If you would like to check that out on YouTube. And because I was working on those streams, so that got me in touch with one of the Australian filmmaker, and we decided that we really want to make something strong around the community on this issue, and that made us into the work of Gita Documentary. So it's a documentary which has been premiered last year at Melbourne International Film Festival, and at the moment it is getting premiered at Santa Barbara International Film Festival in US. So my role around that was very much, I've been an executive producer for the documentary, but my role was very much around how it looks into the community, how that story tells about the community. And that storyline is very much based in India at Agra. And maybe few of you must be familiar with Shiro's Hangout, which is based in Agra and run by acid attack survivors. So we have, we met mom, one of the mom and daughter in Agra, and that their story really resonate with us, especially in terms of Australian context, how family violence looks here and how family violence is being seen in India. We find out few commonalities. We work upon that cultural combinations, and that led into Gita Documentary. It is hitting cinemas in Australia on 30th of March, and hopefully we'll be with the documentary in India by end of this year. So in terms of, I'll go back again to the fact that challenges are always there. Finance, convincing people, having same like-minded people on the team, and collaboration. I mean, I'm an all-time collaborator. I believe in collaboration. So I believe that no project is small or big if you have right person on board. So, you know, it depends a lot of day-to-day action, which is very much around networking. You have to find out the right person. You have to get and chase those networks. You have to sit into that network, because that helps you to understand where you are and what you want, and from where you can find that opportunity. So again, there are different strategies which run with you time to time. And for that, I would say that ongoing learning is really important. So apart from, you know, doing your major studies, try to do some of the short courses, because that give you that, you know, that help you to build that capacity building, which is very much required at that point of time or in relation to that project. I've just recently joined one of the federal MP's office in Australia, and so, like, you know, having again that grassroots understanding has helped me a lot. And I mean, and in regards to the skills, I am building my skills. I must admit that as I've mentioned before, that learning is an ongoing process. And if you feel like that you know a lot, that is not good enough, because every day you have to learn. If you really, really want to go ahead, or if you really want to expand your vision, you have to learn every day. You have to commit time for learning every day. And it can be in any ways. It can be in terms of course, in terms of finding right person who you can talk, who can be your mentor, or looking out for some nice books, or just, like, you know, getting online and find out the right group of people who is kind of connecting with you in terms of the vibe. So yes, I must say that I believe that I'm a lifelong learner, and that is one of the skill I trust the most, and that is kind of helping me a lot. So if yeah, so I think if I have missed out on any question, please feel free to ask me. And you can move on to the further slides, because it is connected with some of the work and some of the points I'd like to put forward. So this is another collage of the image, and this is again a project which I've done with the Governor's House in Melbourne. And this project, the one where we all are wearing blue aprons, if you can see, they all are women of different cultural background, and that project has involved multicultural women who've been given an opportunity as a 10 weeks project to visit the governor's house. And underneath is an upcoming another project where we are coming up with community video, messages around family violence, especially being made for South Asian community in Australia. So once, I think it is getting released on 23rd of March. It involves English, Hindi and Punjabi as the language so that we can reach out to the diaspora. So this can be my closing quote, because I think I always want to be the better version of myself.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Naina Bhandari. Yours has been an inspirational and motivational journey, and I hope our students are also feeling enthused. And what I could gauge from the entire talk, that out of all the things you have dabbled in, out of all the vocations and interests that you have dabbled in, it is clear that community welfare, has been the linchpin around which your life revolves. And I was just, curious to know, when I was going through your very long profile, interesting list, I came across spoken word artist. So could you, just show us some example of, we are very curious to see you as a spoken word artist. If you could perform anything for our students, it would be great.
Yeah, now that's I can also quickly. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so see, because when you work in community, so you deal with a lot of heavy stories and heavy cases, and you need to give some therapy to yourself so that you can unwind yourself and get ready for the next day. So spoken word has always been one of my area of interest, only for this reason, because confidentiality and privacy is one of the biggest professional practice which we work here, and we're not allowed to talk about any of the cases or any of the scenarios we go through. So at that point, poetry or story writing has always helped me to come out with that explosion of thought, so that I can drive them into a direction I feel easy and get back onto the community next very day. And it has eventually been picked up by a few of the organizations here. ABC, I performed with ABC channel here, and I performed a piece in Punjabi and Hindi, and I had a piece which is just coming up on top of my head at the moment, which was around dowry death. So I'll try to share a few quick lines, because the whole poem is not in my mind. ਅੱਜ ਫੇਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੰਨ ਛੁਪਿਆ, ਅੱਜ ਫੇਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੰਨ ਛਿਪਿਆ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚੜਿਆ ਸੀ ਰਾਤ ਬਨੇਰੇ, ਉਹਦੀ ਲੌ ਤੇਜ਼ ਤੋਂ ਹੋਈ ਮੱਧਮ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਚਾਰੋਂ ਪਾਸੇ ਹਨੇਰੇ, ਅੱਜ ਫੇਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੰਨ ਛਿਪਿਆ. That's all I can think about at the moment, but I do write in Hindi, Punjabi and English, and I've got a book around that. I would love to come and definitely this is a very good platform, but definitely it is not that powerful seeing you all around and being natural and organic and in one common room. So I'll look forward to visit college and see all you face to face.
Thank you so much. Now I would invite our students, if they have any queries, any questions. Yes, our students who have joined us online as well as offline, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yes, the students present here, offline in offline mode, you are welcome to come here and pose your question. Come on. I have one question, but I would like to ask that at the end once the students have interacted with you.
Yeah. And don't worry, if I won't be having the answer for it, I will honestly tell you that I don't know the answer. But it would be really good that if you would like to ask anything from me and I'm able to answer.
Okay, my question, Miss Naina, it's how can social outreach programs help students to find or their career? Are there any courses available? Anything which you did when you went to Australia? Anything, any course which you did when you were here? So how can these social outreach programs help them in kind of exploring and finding their career?
Yeah, so that's a very good question because this was my situation when I was in India because social work was not that much developed, and especially when you live around northern part of the India, it's not that much valued. So I did few short courses when I was doing Masters of Environmental Science. I did few short courses from Indira Gandhi Open University in disaster management and community participation, and then I started working with Karuna Sadan. If some of you may know, it's I think in Sector 8 and Commonwealth Asia Center, which is at the back of PGI in Chandigarh. So when I started working there, then I've got a chance to understand that social work courses are available, and they've been at that time, I'm talking about 2007 and 8, they are very much available in Delhi University, I guess even in Kurukshetra University. But I was very keen to see the the bigger version of it, the outer world. So I came to Australia to do my first. I did diploma in community sector management, and then I did my advanced diploma in same community development, and later on I did further certification in dealing with family violence and family violence prevention. So there are a few courses which I did, but if any of you really wants to come overseas and really wants to pursue social work, Monash University, they offers excellent courses. Deakin University, they do provide great courses. University of Melbourne, they have very nice courses. So it depends upon whether you want to come in Masters of or Bachelors of Social Work, or you'd like to do short courses, or you just like to do more like international development, because nowadays international relations and international development has been largely available. And I think there are a few blended courses as well where you can pick community development and media as a combination as well. If you want to pursue, particularly your interest is in using media in the area of community sector. Hope I answer your question.
Yes, thank you so much. In the chat box, there is a question.
I love it. I love this question because trust me, when you go through your journey, you see these situations more than the happy ones, especially when you come to a point of, oh my goodness, yes, I think this is still all right. So I do have many lows. I must agree and accept that I do have many lows. And I think your family plays a very important role, and how good in terms of your communication with them, how open you are. My before my marriage, my parents, they were really strong support of me, because there was a point in my life when I was asking them that I want to drop my PhD and I want to go and do a diploma course in a country where no one knows me. So they trusted me at that time, and that trust of my parents had actually helped me to initiate this journey. And I believe that you need to find out few core people around you, few of your friends who can really, really help you in taking that journey. And I do have few from MCM who are still in touch with each other. And I believe that mentoring nowadays has been really good approach, which helps you to deal with that trauma. Because sometimes what happened due to intergenerational gap, parents are not able to understand your vision. So you need someone from the area in which you want to pursue your career. They can give you that guidelines that this is the track you can follow. So mentoring program will be really good. And the other bit was how to inspire ourselves every day. Well, see, you really need to answer yourself every day. And I must say that you are actually answerable to yourself in making your choices. So first of all, be clear within yourself that what you're doing, why you're doing, and for how far you want to go while pursuing it. And then you have to be really realistic about it, how much you can invest in pursuing your dreams. You have to be realistic. You have to sit and write down that, can I do this? Am I able to do that? Am I able to fund that situation? You definitely pursuing your aim is a hard toll. So you really need a strong mind, and you need to get that strength. You may need to go out, and again, apart from human being, you have to work on your strength, identify your strength, because your strength really help you to cope up into that situation. I like to dance. I should say that. And often when I feel really overwhelmed with the situation, I feel like, okay, well, I'll go and I'll dance and I'll forget about what's been happening. That give me that space in my brain, that fine, I can behave like a normal human now. So you need to find out those internal therapies which really make you move ahead. I hope, Ritika, I answered your question.
Thank you, Naina. And I do believe that art therapy goes a long way in healing you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Naina, I was just wondering if you could, tell us or give us some kind of a list of some NGOs or organizations you were involved with, or any kind of courses which or universities offering those courses. If that would be very helpful to our students. If you could just post it in the chat box, you may later on, share the
I'm more than happy to do that. Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that because community sector is quite vast and broad here. And for example, if you want to, as I mentioned before, that you at times you like to work with only family violence area, so they've got their own different organization. At times they want to work with people who are newly arrived refugees coming from war torn area, so they've got different organizations around it. So if I'm more than happy to share more like a broad list of the community organizations, and that can be a starting point, and I'll email you about the universities courses and the organization which you can think of coming and being a volunteer or start your career. So
there's another question.
There
is a student, Shobna Kalra. She says, she asks, 1/3 women face family violence, even in the Western societies. What can be done to improve that situation?
Yes, that's a beautiful question, because this is especially we are celebrating International Women's Day, so I think this is a very spot on question for this situation. I think this question is the answer. Very good question, Shobna, because you have asked this question, and that is the starting point. When we started asking why about anything, that helps us to find out the solution. That helps us to, diagnose or dissect the solution and why this has been happening in our community. So what we can do to improve the situation? Well, see, in terms of Australian context, there is a prevention and a intervention mode. Prevention is all around talk about it. Talk about it where you find it. If you find it that at your home, it's been happening, you need to take help, just go about it. Don't hesitate. It's a global issue. And often we feel, if you see some of your, maybe not at this stage, at later stage, when some of your friends, or even your cousins maybe, or someone in your family is going through this situation, help them, listen to them, provide support to them. This is the minimum you can do. Help them to ask for further help, take the help of the professionals. And at times, just going to a counselor helps a lot. Sometimes a person needs a neutral person who just does not make any judgment about the situation. Just listen to them. That helps them a lot. So this is the minimum. And when it comes to the maximum, I think every individual is a change maker. Every individual can bring that change. Talk about it. Talk about what you doesn't like in your society, what you doesn't like in your family. If you see there is a culture of disrespect, it's important that if charity begins at home, change that environment. And if you are at a workplace, if you feel that it's a very patriarchal, challenge them. Trust me, if you have your skills on place, even if you have to lose your job, you'll find another, because sometimes you often get torn between that situation. So I can say everyone can educate and bring awareness. So everyone has got a starting point. You have started just by asking this question. So here we go.
Thank you. There's another question by our MA2 student, Prachi, and she asks,
all
as
right,
you are
so
working
yeah,
for the social welfare of society in Australia, did you yourself face any problems with discrimination in the industry you're working in as a foreigner? And if you did, how did you deal with it?
Yes, that's another beautiful question, because this is a tough field. This is not a happy world, and I do get criticism and discrimination, and sometimes it's by within our own community, because again we are a part of patriarchal society. So when I started working, especially for the family violence victims, I must say 10 years ago, I was being threatened. I was being judged. I was being questioned by some of the community members. And I think at that time, the foreign culture or the foreign environment helped me, because they helped me by understanding that what I'm trying to achieve. And I just kept on walking on this journey. And now, those they threatened or criticized, they are working with me in one way or the other. And if I talk about the foreigners, yes, as I mentioned in my speech before, when I was looking for a job, no one was ready to give me a job, because I wasn't having a valid visa to work here. If you go for any state, federal government, or even local council job here, you have to have a citizenship on place, or at least permanent residency. And if you want to work in some of the NGOs who work on such crucial issues, they really need to make sure that you will going to stay here and you will going to serve the country. And that was one of the biggest challenge. And anyways, I able to get through it. And there is gender-based discrimination exists in Australia as well. It's not that easy, especially if you're trying to get into a male-dominating industry, or if you are a migrant, you often get judged on the basis of your language. But over there, you really have to believe in yourself, So, for example, our accent are different, right? The way we speak English, the way we communicate is very different from any mainstream Australian person. So over there, I'm just telling you off the record this thing. So you have to feel confident by telling them that you can speak 3 to 4 languages. So that's how our brain process. So you have to feel proud about being knowing, you can talk in Punjabi, you can talk in Hindi, you can talk to any other South Asian community members. So that's your strength mechanism which help over there. So yes, there are discrimination and there are challenges. There is patriarchy here as well, comparatively lesser. But then, because there is not much corruption, if you keep on working, it helps you. But you have to be strong.
Thank you. And we have another question from Vrinda Bakshi. She asks, I want to help old people, kids and animals, but I'm not able to figure out from where should I start?
All right, Vrinda. So that's
asking for some direction.
Yeah, no, that's very good, because again, as I mentioned before, when I was in India, I was at that point. So if you want to work, see, because old people, kids and animals, they are completely they have completely different needs to each other. And you might have to get started from one point, which can take you further down, to the other. So the first thing which you can do, you can Google up the organization around where you live and find out what already existing in your community. I believe that definitely there is PETA, which is quite active in India for animal welfare. And for children, I remember there are a few orphan houses in Chandigarh. So you can be a volunteer over there. You can go there and tell them your intention. Tell them you are not seeking any employment. You just want to work there as a volunteer. And you can be flexible in telling them about your commitment. If you want to go there, do some work for once a week or once a fortnightly or once a month, but just stick to it. Because what happens once you get into that role, after a few weeks you get bored. But just stick to it and try to find out. And once you have that idea of that organization and how it operates and what the people or the kids or the animals you want to know about, then you can move on to the other one. So you can also message me where you live. I can happy to find out which organization will be good for you if you would like to join in your community. And I remember that there are a few in 2007 and 8, so there must be few more at the moment. But I'm happy to look out if you want me to.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Naina. And this is a gentle reminder to all the participants to fill up the feedback forms. Right, the link has been shared in the chat box in the online session. Those who are attending offline will be sent the feedback form on their mails. And those
All right, thank you everyone for making me ready, camera ready. And thank you, Naina. बहुत सी बातें अभी हमने कही और I would just like to thank Naina by summing up all those things. And I think the first thing that comes to my mind, what Naina has been talking in the past 1 hour or so, is कि लगे रहो, डटे रहो. And I think this event itself is an example of it, because we are doing these blended mode sessions, and I think we managed to pull it off thanks to the entire team and our patient audience. So this is exactly what we need to do, and this is what I think Naina has been saying, that don't give up. So we have been facing challenges since 9:30 in the morning, but we have experimented, tried, and here we are finishing off a very good session with our overseas alumni. So a person who has been working for the disadvantaged sections, including the refugees and migrants, I think this is a very timely interactive session. We are undergoing pandemic even now and the current situation in Ukraine. And we are seeing how help at every level, every local level, community level, by individuals and institutions makes a difference. जो भी हम किताबों में पढ़ते हैं, every day we get a chance to implement. And I think this is what Naina also has been trying to tell us. And looking at her profile and now hearing her, we can all say that issues are universal: violence, gender discrimination, and so on. But बहुत से solutions local होते हैं, हमें खुद ढूंढने पड़ते हैं. We all have to figure out. And I think one thing that Naina said right now was कि believe in yourself and in your own capabilities and even culture. हिंदी आती है, पंजाबी आती है, तो उसका use कहीं ना कहीं होगा. But you must know it. You must know how to use and where to use. That's the common sense that we will have to keep intact. And then when she, I was very amazed when I saw her profile, from food science to community leadership and to a movie maker. This quality of being versatile, I think yahi ek aaj ka bahut bada lesson hai, because all of us who have done one course doesn't mean we have to stick to that throughout our life. We can change wherever our passion lies. And then the local level. Her journey began at the local level, and in fact, this is where we can make a real impact around us, in our surroundings, in our neighborhood, in our everyday life when we visit the college. So yesterday I was seeing a girl who hurt her foot suddenly, and how she was suddenly being helped to be taken to the medical room and so on. This is how it begins. This is where it continues. But the impact is bigger. It's global. So that slogan of think local and act global, well, that's valid. And of course, the last and perhaps the most pertinent point today, she's a role model for you. She's here. She's from amongst you. She was here in these very premises a few years back. And here she is now being able to share her experience. And I think this is what a role model is. So yes, thank you, Naina, for sparing your time and energy. And we look forward to more such sessions where perhaps you can be more specific and guide the students in the area of community leadership, as well as media, or how to showcase your talent or your passion through the media so that it can have a wider outreach. So with that, I would be summing up, and I would like to thank our worthy principal, Dr. Nisha Bhargav, who has always been a guiding force, and I am thankful to the entire alumni committee and our staff, Desraj sir and others, Mr. Vijay, who would be involved in one way or the other. I am very grateful to our media people, the mass communication people who are right now doing all the PR work, which is actually going to keep this as a record. So Naina, thank you so much for being with us, and we would like to get in touch with you soon, and we would look forward to that list that you would be sending us so that we can share that with the students. So thank you all, and I hope that's all. I think that's it. So thank you, the audience. I hope you had something to take away. It is always not कि एक घंटा हम कोई चीज सुनने बैठे हैं तो बहुत कुछ एक ही बार में लेकर जाएंगे. But I'm sure every one of you has had one at least thing that you are taking away from this hall, because that is what completes our job, that we have been able to help you.